Okay, I'm already recording. Okay. What's up, Highlanders? Welcome to Hilander Hot Seat. My name is Brady Phillips. I'm here with
Dawson Green, Gunnar Burt, Payne Stewart, Parker Huey.
and wait, bro.
We're good. All right. Today we have the 2008 3A Washington State Player of the Year. He played baseball at the University of Washington. He's a Paul Owens Award winner, a fourth-round draft pick of the Phillies in 2008, and a current reliever of the Oakland A's, Kelso's very own Trevor May.
What's up, guys?
What's up? Thanks for coming on today.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. First question for you. What teacher or coach impacted you the most throughout your time at Kelso?
Oh, that's tough. Uh, it's either Mr. Davis or Gardner. I'd say I'll go with Greg Gardner. I'm pretty sure I don't think he's not teaching anymore. He's an administrator, right? I think. I don't know, but Gardner's my man. He had a lot to do with my development there at Kelso. Had him as a teacher in a bunch of different classes, but also as a coach in both basketball and baseball. So Gardner's the guy I still talk to fairly regularly too. So
love that. Thank you. Cool. Next question for you. Favorite sports memory playing baseball at Kelso?
Ooh. Favorite sports memory. Well, it's kind of maybe a two-parter that has probably a lot to do with me feeling like I could play at the next level. My junior year, we were pretty good. We made the playoffs, but we were around 500 in the regular season, and we got to play in the district in a play-in game to go to the by districts. And we're playing a team from Tacoma, Franklin Pierce. And I got hit around a little bit, walked some guys, and ended up getting beat pretty badly in that game. And it was kind of embarrassing. I remember I had like a mohawk, and my May was shaved inside of my head. I don't know why I did that. I mean, maybe you guys understand. I don't remember. But yeah, that was a bad look. Getting hit around with the mohawk. So, but the next year we played them in the exact same game. And my senior year, the year I was the 3A player, 3A state player of the year. And I remember they scored 2 runs off me. They'd got, there's another little side story here where their catcher was his older sister, and my older sister went to college together. And she used to, in the summers, would come stay at our house at times. So we knew their family already. And he was going to Texas Tech and I was going to Washington. So it was kind of a big I don't know, matchup, especially after how the year before went. And I mean, they were pretty chirpy. They chirped the whole time. So I remember it was raining the first inning. I gave a couple runs and didn't get any strikeouts. It was 2-0, and then there's rain delay, and there were scouts there, and I was like, I'm not coming out of this game. Like, it doesn't matter how long this rain delay is, I'm going to pitch. And they were chirping again. I remember getting really, really mad. And the game ended 4-2 Kelso. And I think I struck out 16 in the next 6 innings. And that was like kind of something snapped. Something snapped that day. And I'll always remember that because I was just really, really angry. First time I got to, I really remember channeling that to actually into my performance and not kind of just like letting it take over. So that's one I'll always quote as a little bit of a turning point in my baseball career, and it happened when I was 18 years old.
Shoot. When did you realize that you might be able to play baseball at the collegiate and professional level? And what made you decide to leave college and pursue professional?
Well, I started to kind of realize I had something. I went to university or UW's baseball camp between sophomore and junior year, and I was going through a big growth spurt, kind of adding velocity, and I'd always thrown hard, even when I stopped growing for about 5 years in the middle there, and all my buddies passed me. I still was the hardest thrower because I just threw as hard as I could all the time. And then the body caught up, and velocity started to turn into like a real, Division I level quality, especially in Washington, because it's just we don't play that much baseball because of the rain. So something happened. Ken Knutson was the pitching, or was the head coach at Washington right before Megs, who's the coach now, and I was throwing like high. I think I got up to 88 or something as a 16-year-old, which is pretty good. Back then, that's not good anymore, but it used to be good. And I was just growing really fast, real skinny, and he kind of took a flyer on me. Really liked me, so I committed to the University of Washington like before the junior year baseball season started, or maybe right after. It was like we were talking for the whole. I think that was whatever the first day you could sign with a D1 school was. That's the day I signed. So they got me early, and then that just kind of happened. I didn't really even think about it, and then from there it was like once that was locked in, I knew I was going to go play Division One. I just kind of like played a little bit more loose, kept growing, kept throwing harder, and frankly, Washington baseball, including college all the way through the state, was a little bit like a draft-wise that year, 2008, a little bit weaker. I think I was the first guy, college or high school, drafted out of the state that year, the 4th round. So that was also an opportunity. So it kind of I got drafted higher than I thought I would get. The signing bonus was a little higher than I thought it would be at first. And my dad basically said, do you want to start now or do you want to go? Do you want to start in 3 years? And I said, I can start now. And I moved to Florida. That's kind of just how it worked. It was that simple. I remember having to call the coach, say, hey, I think I'm going to go into the draft. I'm going to go play professionally. And I remember him being supportive and kind of disappointed. And then I think 3 weeks later he got fired. So I didn't get his contract renewed. Yeah. And so he went to Arizona State. So I wouldn't have even had him. Like that whole coaching staff wouldn't have been there. It's funny. The pitching coach there now I would have played with him there. That's where I'm at age-wise. So and then 15 years later, I was in the bullpen last year in spring training for the Mets, and someone sits down next to me, and it's Ken Knutson, and he now is a pitching coordinator in the Mets minor leagues. So it all came around, and we were in the same place at the end of the day. So that was pretty cool to see. So yeah, it's kind of a small world. You play long enough, a lot of these type of things happen.
Was it always UW from the beginning, or did you have other colleges that wanted you, or how was
it? It kind of happened. Our head coach, or Meeker was the coach when I was there, and he basically just letters would come to him, and then he passed them on, and then it got to so this was my junior year, before I made the decision. It just before I could sign, as soon as Washington kind of made the offer, like, all right, we got to wait so I was kind of locked in on them. Letters just started pouring in. And I remember Stanford sent one. I was really excited about that. I want to go to Stanford since I was 10. And I saw the campus, which is funny because now I live right next to it. But Stanford was big. There was a couple Ivy League schools. I worked really hard in school, and I wanted to be the valedictorian to get into Stanford because, frankly, it's hard to get into Stanford if you're not the valedictorian. Yeah. So, and especially in Washington, where the highest GPA we have is 4.0. So, it was exciting. Like Columbia, I remember Dartmouth, Brown, not great baseball programs, really good schools, but you want to go to the Harvards and the Princetons or the better baseball schools there too. So, and I wasn't really trying to move to the East Coast, which was ironic because I moved to Florida after I signed. But yeah, lots and lots of schools. There was even the LCC tried to get me to do a gap year and stay there. BYU, I had an affiliation with the Mormon Church for a long time growing up, and they were like, "Play, you want to come and go on a mission and then play till you're 25?" And I was like, "No, thank you." So yeah, tons and tons and tons of letters from all kinds of schools I never heard of. They were really, really interested. But I went to actually Stanford's baseball camp also, as well as Washington's, and it turned out that the opportunity to walk on was only my option there, and that school's very expensive, and we didn't have the money to do that. So I went for the full ride at Washington, and I love the school. I love Seattle. I live there now, and I think I made the right choice to. I don't think I could have went wrong with either going to Washington for 3 years or going professionally. I think I would have gotten here either way, but I'm definitely no regrets choosing the way that I chose.
Awesome.
All right. What was the journey like from being drafted in the 4th round in 2008 to making it to the major league debut in 2014?
Yeah, that's a short story. So moving was terrible. I had never been away from home for more than 2 weeks, so it was a shock. I just moved out of my parents' house, hopped on a plane. Some guy I never met picked me up at the airport, and they dropped me off at the La Quinta Inn in Clearwater, which is, if anyone stayed, I don't know if any of you guys know what a La Quinta is, but no, no. If you get a choice, don't. And so a bunch of us, a bunch of guys were drafted that year. A lot of guys, younger Latin guys, 16, 17, 18 years old, who are in the country for the first time, like only been there for less than a year, don't speak a lot of English. And though I took Spanish in high school, we all know how much, Spanish, like how fluent you get from that. You actually got to go to a country and be immersed in it to learn it really well. So I could vaguely understand people, but it was a culture shock for sure. And then you get a roommate. My roommate was a senior sign out of Creighton, Old Dominion. So he was a lot older than me. He was 22 or 23, and I'm 18. Living in the same, we're just roommates randomly. Just get there and, hey, bud, nice to meet you. Now we live in the same room, which is crazy. And he had Free Fallin' as our song every morning when we woke up for his alarm, and it was awful. I can't listen to that song to this day. Your alarm's going off at 6 a.m. every morning to go play baseball, and I remember wanting to come home so bad. But then, you kind of just power through it. It's, that's a lot like saying you go to college or whatever, you move away from home. It's just tough at the beginning. It was only gone for like 7-8 weeks, which is nothing now that I'm thinking about it. And then you just kind of go. The next year I was in extended spring training, which is not where you want to be. Basically, everyone breaks for their teams in the minor leagues, and you stay there, and you wait. And there's a short season team that starts 2 months later. So I pitched there for 2 months, pitched really well. Got to skip short season, went right to low A. We won a low A league championship. The next year, I went to high A. Halfway through the year, got sent back to low A. We won the low A championship again. Then the next year is when I kind of started getting going. So I think I had the Clearwater record 2011. Clearwater Threshers strikeout record. That's when I won the Paul Orange Award. 12, Reading, Double A. Struggled a little bit, got traded, went back to Double A, pitched better, Triple A. So it took me 5 years, which was normal at that time. Now the COVID's hit, guys get thrown through the minors most of the time too fast. But back then it was one level at a time, and college guys got to go a little bit faster. So yeah, it's a lot of grinding. Like if you don't get hurt, you're doing something well. Like the whole goal is just to not be hurt. And it's hard when you play that many games. I think I threw 150 innings 3 straight years in the minors. Now you don't even see big leaguers do that. So I was proud of that, my longevity and my ability to throw a lot of innings down reliever, so it doesn't even matter. But do a lot of innings. We have like 700 and something innings in the minors, and now I have like 400 and something in the majors. So spent a lot of bullets on this arm so far, but yeah, there's a lot of ups and downs. It's a game it's like you're riding the most exciting / scary roller coaster of your life for years and years and years.
Yeah. So being a professional athlete, how do you use your platform to help others?
That's a great one. There's a lot of ways to do it. I've gotten into some philanthropy stuff recently and doing some, as you guys probably know about the streaming and all that stuff that I do on the side. That's been the vehicle I've used mostly to raise money. We've helped the Humane Society out. We've helped Donors Choose, which is funding underfunded classrooms around the country and initiatives that way. We can do stuff through the teams as well. The team has a lot of community outreach. This year, I'm looking to do all kinds of stuff with Oakland. Oakland's in need of a lot of different things, and there's a lot of opportunity there. Also, just there comes a time in the middle of your career or when things aren't going very well when you kind of just want to like shut down and kind of just be within yourself and not really interact with fans and things. But that's kind of the point. The last couple of years, I've tried really, really hard to take opportunities to like sign everything. Every time anybody comes up to me, try to sign it. Someone, calls you by name and asks you a question, to like have a conversation with them, especially if you're walking around the bullpen or you're in the bullpen. And historically, I've just kind of like ignored people because sometimes they're heckling and you just don't want to, you don't know if someone's about to heckle you or not. And I just played in the NL East. Like I was just in New York for 2 years. Like it's very, very common. So just go to Philadelphia, you'll see. It's hard to have a cool conversation with somebody when there's 90% of people just yelling obscenities at you. But at the end of the day, like it doesn't really matter if they're heckling you or not. I think the point is to have fans enjoy themselves, and kids believe that they can do it someday. Because the reason I got here and believe that I can do it is because I watched The Sandlot when I was a kid, and I watched Friday Night Lights, and I watched Remember the Titans, all these movies that like make you believe that sports are amazing and that you can achieve the next level if you just try really hard. So I hope to pass it on to the next group of kids and sharing what the life's like, because I think we're very close to vest. We put the stuff, we hide who we are a lot. We don't show a lot of emotion, and we don't really. We like to be private, and I think it's because it's every day, and if you open up, you're kind of opening your up to criticism of every little thing you're doing because you need to save every ounce of energy to play the game, and that's just not very fun. But we do play 162 games in 183 days, and there is truth to that. Like if you're out, filming a vlog all day out the field, and you got to go to the field and try to have enough energy to play. It's just not physically possible to do that all the time. So you got to be smart about it. But hopefully, I can help guys understand that they can do some of that stuff if they want to do it, including streaming. Stream if you want.
Oh, that's awesome. And then more question during your high school days. Like for us on a weekend, we go like hang out the high school or just drive around with our buddies or play video games. What would you do on your typical weekend during school?
Usually like drive around with my buddies, play video games. Guys, 15 years ago, we were still hanging out in the parking lot. Like when it snowed, everyone just tried to get down to the fastest to do the cookies in the snow. Like it's the same. It's exactly the same. Or we go down to Tamo. And I know in the summer, it was like when we were older, it was double or nothing. We go down on the Little League fields, play double or nothing with metal bats and just hit homers. And then when we were younger, it'd be tons of wiffle ball. I don't know how many of you guys play baseball, but you guys know, you probably know the Rices. Kelly Rice is the youngest son of the family, and he was my guy who we'd always be hanging out playing baseball and playing wiffle ball in the backyard. Him and David, or I'm like right between them in age. I think Bob still runs the Little League, so they're a big baseball family. So I spent a lot of time at their house playing wiffle ball. Still kind of into wiffle ball a little bit, starting to get back into it. So, it was always baseball. We even started when we were 13. We started a Sandlot team that just didn't play anybody. And we just it was just basically some of my buddies who didn't make the All-Star teams, and like didn't have summer ball to play. Like they just liked playing baseball, but they didn't take it super seriously like I did. And we'd get together and go down to like Butler Acres or to Tamo and just like run practices like they did in the movie. And it was. It was a lot of fun. But in high school, definitely just hanging around parking lots and getting energy drinks and playing World of Warcraft.
Want to talk about Gunner? I know Gunner is professional, if you want to call it that, wiffle baller.
Whoa.
Okay.
It's pretty big. I mean,
they have a league in town. The guys that created are from Chehalis, but we play in like Castle Rock out behind the elementary school. Pretty big league, but yeah,
How many teams?
There's 6 in the AL and 6 in the NL. So,
have you seen the AWA?
No.
So they run it out of Edmonds, and huge YouTubers like.
Oh yes, I've seen him on TikTok.
Yes, lots of TikToks. So that guy who makes those
set up like
TikToks,
cameras in like the outfield and stuff.
Oh, that's their backyard. They built a stadium in their backyard.
That's sick.
So it's funny you say this because they just expanded. They're I think across other platforms they had 300 million views last year.
Ooh.
So they're in terms of viewership, I think they're the biggest wiffle league in the country. But the other one is a little bit more sponsored and makes a little bit more money. But Jack, his name's Jack Playhouse. He runs it, and he's actually my cousin-in-law, which is just a small world thing. So that's what I was saying. I was getting back into wiffle. I like go play. I do guest appearances there, and like they had Eric Sim versus me in the game, and I it's impossible for me to throw. I can't throw because they have the speed limit.
Yeah.
So 65 miles an hour, I can't throw it. Like I could not do it. Just physically couldn't do it and throw anywhere near the zone. So I was just trying to throw sliders or cutters the whole time. And I walked 3 guys and then punched out Sim, and they pulled me because he swings at everything. Like it was for YouTube, but it'd be really really funny because they are actively always trying to find other leagues to play against. So like it'd be hilarious if you had the best team from your league play the best team from their league. They won the World Series. Like that would be. And then it's funny because they're probably a little bit older than you. They're like mid-20s.
Yeah.
There's I think there's 130-year-old in the league. And they're trying to. I'm like, you guys got to start recruiting out of Edmonds Woodway and like out of the schools that you guys went to. So they're starting to get younger kids like your age in the league. So that might be a connection I can help with. That'd be really really funny to see you guys just do like an exhibition or something. Meet halfway. Meet in Olympia.
Yeah.
And just find a place. I mean, you can do it anywhere, but they'll bring the cameras. They'll film it. It'd be really cool. What's the league called? What's your league called?
I'll give a little plug right here. I pulled up Gunner Burt. Are you still on the Lawnmen?
Yeah, I play for the Kansas City Lawnmen. We're rebuilding this year.
Kansas City, huh? In Castle Rock.
I
love it. It's like like backyard baseball team names.
Yeah, it's fun. Get out, play some wiffle ball with some buddies, and
sounds good, man.
Have a good time.
Yeah, I gotta get the info. Maybe I can connect you guys, see if there's something there.
You should, yeah.
So question about like, did your parents influence you to start playing baseball when you were little, or was it just something you found through like your friends and movies and stuff like that, or would your parents, your dad or mom, really push you towards baseball?
No, I think it was just like a try it thing. When you're 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, you just like see which sports are starting up, and just started in t-ball over there on the smaller field in Tamo, and realized I hated catching immediately. So that was out from the first game, which was a really good decision now that I'm looking back on it. And yeah, basketball is the same way. My dad was a big basketball player. I think his name might be on the scoring sheet there, Kelso, Ron May. He played in the 70s, and he went and played in college for 4 years. So he was always big basketball guy. So I loved playing basketball, but then I was like a power forward of 6'5". So you're not going anywhere being 6'5". You got to be a point guard, and that's not what I was. So I played all the way through though. And but baseball kind of just like I just had more aptitude for it, and I think physically I just stood out more. And I just like throwing hard. Like there's nothing better than just blowing fastball. Like I just loved it. It's the best in the world. And I just wasn't our big scorer. I was a good player. Like I rebound and average like 8 or 9 points a game. Like just so I was a starter, but I wasn't our best player, and I was just kind of a role player. But baseball, I was like, teams had to prepare for me, and so I enjoyed that more. So, but I just played. We just, like you said, there wasn't that much. Like there wasn't that much other stuff there. Like there's not a ton of other extracurricular activities to do. Like it's not like we have lacrosse or soccer's wasn't massive. It's getting bigger now, which I think is awesome. But I ran track too, but I even wrestled for a year and during basketball season for like 2 months, and then realized this is impossible. There's no way I'm going to be able to do this. And I quit. It's the first time I ever quit anything, which was tough. And then I quit football the next year. But I don't know. Do they throw the ball more there? Because they didn't throw it then, and I like throwing the ball. So that's why
I think we throw a little more. We got Coach Amaran's son Tucker is our quarterback now, and then Unlertier is a pretty good quarterback. So I think we've progressively thrown it more each year, but it's still when
heavy.
Get down to it, it's 9 ice, 10 ice, 10 counter. Just
I remember those
again. But no, putting back like what you said, playing other sports. Like I would think like statistically, if you're a varsity athlete on one sport, that you're at least a varsity athlete on another sport, if not playing all 3 seasons. It's just there's just not enough athletes. It's still not.
Mhm.
And so like, you could go around the room and everyone here does a varsity sport for another person, but you still have your main sport.
Mhm.
Like, and I don't know, like kids are now like choosing one sport to focus on, but I think that's one thing at Kelso that's kind of not been the trend is kids still playing multiple sports, which is cool.
Yeah, I think it's important. Not only for learning what you like and what you're good at, but just like developing other skill sets too. Like,
Yeah.
if you're a pitcher, for me, for example, being a pitcher only since basically since senior in high school, like I just completely lost my ability to move like laterally, which is weird. Like shuffling side to side, basketball gave me that and gave me that athleticism. But I'm very, very, very good like straight ahead. That's where all my power is. So like you get into patterns and then it's hard to break them the longer you do it. So yeah, especially people who like you play in college and you don't play after, like organized. If you still like to play sports and stuff, even after you're done playing them in an organized way, if you're going to join a kickball league, I would still recommend playing different ones.
Yeah.
Like get in pickleball and also play kickball or wiffle ball and pick up basketball, whatever it is that trains a bunch of different things. It's just I think it's just better for you long term physically.
Yeah, I agree with that. Hayden, you
You got it, Peyton.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh.
You're up.
What is your favorite off-season vacation spot?
Ooh, home, my house. No. I don't know. I've been to all kinds of cool places, but they're also like most are just for like 2 weeks or a week. Probably the best place I've ever been is Tuscany, though. I think it was in Italy on my honeymoon. That it was a little off season too. It's like November is like not when everyone's in Tuscany, and the vineyards aren't even open. There's only a couple, so we got to go just stay at one with only like it was like 3 other couples and like a family in the whole place in this villa, and it was just silent. And we got to just sleep way in and just veg and cook our own food and meet a couple new people who were all there and meet everyone. The same people were there every night for dinner. That was really fun for me. I'm usually like I want to chill because I fly every 3 days for 6 months. Like it's just exhausting. So, but I think moving in the future, my wife and I have a couple things planned. We're gonna go to Japan soon. After this World Baseball Classic thing, and now I play with Shintaro Fujinami. I've been talking to him and his interpreter, just trying to learn Japanese as fast as I can because they love baseball over there, but I just love the culture. Obviously, the video game connection as well is very strong. And sushi's my favorite food. So it's just I think Japan's going to be my favorite after I'm done. Another one I went to Hawaii once, and again, super chill. It's like the rural island in Hawaii, where it's just a little bit more low key, chill. A lot of 2-lane highways, like not a lot of hustle and bustle. So that's probably the best sleep I've ever gotten in a week in my life. It's funny. That's what I'm looking for to vacation: to sleep soundly and for as long as I can.
Yeah, of course.
What was the toughest hitter that you've faced so far about your career?
I get that one a lot. Overall, Miguel Cabrera, just like in terms of the number of times I faced him. Some other guys who've just given me absolute fits. Prime Josh Donaldson. I'm more confident against him now, but like he owned me when I first came up. I think he's like 6 for 7 with a homer and 4 doubles or something, and the one out was like 108 right at the shortstop. So, yeah, he was my dad for a while. Who else? And then like current players like Juan Soto's. You're just flipping a coin. You're just like, please hit this at somebody. Harper was another really good, like just a guy like you're like, I got to be careful here. And I'm sure like I faced Stroud a couple times, and I've had, I think 2 or 3 times I've had success. I think Otani's got a hit off me. We're gonna find out this year. I'm gonna face him all the time, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Jordan Alvarez is pretty good. I faced him a few times too. But like, there's guys with holes that you can exploit a little bit, and the guys who like don't have any are the Sotos of the world, where just there's nothing you can find that's like, I'm gonna have success if I could just hit this spot over and over again. Most guys have one of those. He does not. Manny Machado's up there. Who else am I missing? It's just full indoor is tough. So the guy I had the most success against, I like to throw this one in. I don't know if this is your backup question or your secondary question, but Mike Napoli, I'm his dad. Again, he's 0 for 8 with 7 strikeouts. And the last one I had 0-2 on him, and he barely fouled one off, and then I like hung a slider or something, then he hit it at shortstop, and he was like fist pumping on the way, and he rolled, it was out, but he was like, yeah. And I was like, no. I wanted to, because I think he was retiring after that year. So I wanted 0 for 8 with 8, but no, we only got 7.
I got a quick question for you. Before like you were getting ready to play the series, for other sports you watch film. Like what's this how often do you study like those lineups before you play that team?
A lot. I'm actually super interested in that, in how scouting reports are put together. I watch a lot of video, but video's a lot different in baseball simply because like swings and throwing and everything's so nuanced. Like, football and basketball are huge because you're following movement. You want to see how guys move in certain situations, like how they try to get open or how plays develop, and you're trying to combat those things. Baseball's much more like minute. You're like looking at your own mechanical adjustments. You're looking at how they swing in a certain pitch in a certain count based on the last pitches that were just thrown at them. So you can kind of get an idea of what they were thinking, but it's very, very hard to do if you don't have a ton of experience. So a lot of it's shown in data, and that's why analytics are so big, because we can't see things naked eye as easily as other sports, and which makes sense. So we do it with massive trends that tell us the story. And so that's kind of the revolution happening in baseball now, is the ability to read those trends and effectively, and then make decisions based on them. So I actually designed my own scouting report that I've carried from the last few years with Twins, with the Mets, and now we're trying to get it put together with the A's, where I have buckets of data that I want to know about every single hitter that is like represented in like into like heat maps, like red means bad, blue means good, and it's just the strike zone and where the locations are for certain things and how hard they're hit or missed. And I want to know where misses. I want to know where soft grounders are, and I want to know where they hit the stuff the hardest in every single pitch, all of those things for all those pitches. And so I try to go through, and then there's, it's like 10 heat maps for every single guy in the lineup, and then every guy on their roster. And I try to kind of have 2 to 4 bullet points that I can go to for each guy. And then go from there, and then play the game. When you're out there, you got to remember those things. You can go to them, and then as the AB develops, you maybe change the plan. But I think that's the key. Having a really good plan is you got to know tendencies of guys that are represented both in what you see, but also in data. So I do it. I pair video with a whole bunch of very complicated looking reports.
Okay, so what is your favorite stadium to play in?
Favorite stadium? I mean, Oakland Coliseum has been like in the top 3 for me for a long time. It's a lot to do with why I came here, because it's such a great pitchers park, which is a cool atmosphere. It's freaking massive, and just good for pitchers in general. All time, just really depends on like the situation. Like I played in the Yankee Stadium against the Yankees in the playoff series, and it's insane there, like insane. It was one of the coolest experiences, even though we were on the absolutely getting dominated side of things. It was still just awesome to be part of it. I would say Citi Field for the Mets. I've had a lot of success there. It's one of the best parks for me in my career, because of the way that crowd can react and get behind you. Target Field's beautiful. Twins. I really love going and playing at T-Mobile, so the family can come, and it's just an awesome atmosphere. I went to the game 3 of the DS last year after we were eliminated against the Astros in the 18 inning game, sitting behind our own plate. It's weird. Patrick Wisdom from the Cubs was also there, which I still don't know why to this day, because he's not from Seattle. But it was he's not like 2 rows ahead of us. That's why I said that. But it was awesome, awesome atmosphere. But I just, I wish we had the pitching clock for that one because my God, that was the longest game I've ever seen. I remember looking over at my wife because I took 2 friends. I basically was like, hey, you guys, because they're huge Mariners fans. So if you guys want to go, I'll get us all tickets. I'll go with you. They're great. And so we all went. And they got, they had a few more drinks than I did, and they were getting into it as Mariners fans. I was just like, I looked over at my wife at 16, inning 16. Like, I watched too much baseball this year for this, man. Like, I can't. Like, I don't. I want the Mariners to win this game, but man, do I not care enough to be there for 18 innings. And of course, we went and got our Uber, and the game ended as we got into it. But we knew it was going to be a solo homer. I just was hoping Cal would hit it, not Pena. Anyway.
I wonder how much money was made in revenue at the concessions at that game.
Well, they shut beer sales down in the 7th.
Yeah, I heard about that.
There was a lot of people coming down for the last innings and not feeling very good. A lot of very tired people, but no one left. We were the only people that left the whole time. That place was packed till the last inning, which is really, really crazy and incredible. But yeah, they got to put guys on second.
I could have got 4 Mariner dogs and not felt sick during that game. I bet at 4.
Yeah, maybe 4.
All right, we got one more quick question. What we all want to know.
All right.
Who was your favorite streamer to play Fortnite with?
Favorite streamer to play Fortnite with?
Yep.
Who's going to get mad at me? Honestly, I probably will just say the guy who won't get mad. Nah, dude, Action Jackson's my favorite. He's my boy. But so I'll throw that out there. Paul, you're my favorite, and then it's probably Tim, because Tim, no matter what, he just never takes anything too seriously. And so, I was the weight attached to our ankle, right? But in my defense, I was playing on 100 ping all the time. No one ever talked about that. So even though I wasn't as good as them, I could have hung better if I was on the same service. But I was always playing West Coast with their East Coast. So, and Ninja was always kind of messed up too. We get screwed up. But Tim, Ninja, Courage, Lupo. Lupo, I've played a lot of other stuff with over the years. But honestly, I played a little bit of Call of Duty with Tim. I'd say Tim and Fortnite was fun because I think that we were both the butt of the joke a lot, and it was nice to have someone else with me.
I want to show this quick photo. My dad, when I told him that I was trying to get a hold of you to set up this interview, he went and found this photo of when you signed. I don't even know the name of the barbershop. You may know.
What's his name? Oh, my dad has gotten his haircut there for 40 years.
Oh, you got a fresh haircut in this photo. I wish I could
Yeah, they didn't get my hair. I remember it. Yeah, no, your dad sent that to me.
Yeah, there's me and you right there.
Oh my God, man. I'm just noticing more and more gray hairs in the beard right now. That's crazy, dude. How old were you in that? 13, 14? 10, 11, 12?
I don't even know.
What year was that?
Yeah, I'm guessing off the bucket hats when we won the Super Bowl. Seahawks did.
15 then. So yeah, I was in the big leagues already.
15.
It must have been 15. That wasn't that long ago. That was 8 years ago. Yeah, it's a long time. You were 10?
Yeah, I'm probably around 10 around there. I bet I still have that baseball, honestly. I got a signed baseball. Got the baseball.
You better still have it. What are you talking about?
I got a full base, all my home runs. I don't play baseball anymore. Yeah. But no, I got all my signed baseballs in there. Shoot, well, any more? Oh, wait, I got one question. I got one more question.
Yeah.
Favorite restaurant to eat in Kelso? Fast food?
Favorite cat.
Yeah.
Favorite restaurant in Kelso. Start talking about, man. I've never gotten more than 50% of my order right, but I didn't. It's so funny when I left and I go to other Taco Bells. I was like, oh wow, other Taco Bells get your order right.
Yeah.
I've always just like I would order a certain way just so that if some of the stuff was missing, I'd still be cool. Like and I now and then I'm like, wow, I'll constantly have too much food because they actually put it all in there. So funny because it's always like classmates of mine giving it to me.
Was Nips here when?
Yeah, Nips was here.
Yeah.
Are you?
No, Nips is great too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was only long. I don't want to drive over there. Get me. I actually live really close to high school, so like Taco Bell was easy for me. And then the I don't think it's a Shell actually anymore, but the gas station across the highway, 2 for every energy drink. So I go there all the time. AM PM not so good, so stop going there.
The cookies though, they got cookies.
They do got cookies, yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on, and good luck this season, and hope you have a good one.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Trevor.
Have a good day.
You
See you later.
Well,
I set that one up.
Quit
Dude,
touching me.
that
bro.
was good.
That was good. That was long.
That was so long.
30 minutes.
So what? We're
44 minutes.
We're having
That's
a good
44.
conversation.
Although I think it's
Well,
better to have a
well,
long
shorter,
podcast than a short one.
Yeah.
Payne, we're not done recording yet.
What else do we have to talk about?
Our outro.
This is our outro,
Oh,
All right, we'll
Now we gotta-
pick up
We'll
right
beep that out.
here. Thanks for joining everyone, and hopefully soon we have Tommy Lloyd. I don't know. He's
When's opening day
this Thursday of spring break
for Oakland?
is opening day for the MLB.
Go watch Oakland A's
so
this Thursday.
yeah.
I don't know who they probably got.
Quit talking, Gunner. You don't know.
They might put the Angels actually. I don't know.
Let's
Yeah.
You don't know, Gunner.
Hopefully he gets the bump in that game and
Yeah. Oh, we forgot to ask him what to plug. We'll put up all his plugs. Go follow Trevor May and
Yeah.
make
Go
sure
watch this stream.
to like and subscribe to Hilander
Oh.
Digital Media. And we will see you guys soon.